Hey everybody, Scott Luton with Supply Chain Now, here back at Manifest in Las Vegas. As you know, the center of all things supply chain, at least this week. And I'm interviewing movers and shakers like my friend here, David Shillingford with Everstream Analytics. David, how you doing?
I'm well, thank you, Scott.
You know, the first time we met, we were at a big old trade show in Atlanta where there was about 30,000 people in attendance. And you earned a moniker that I think you're a perfect fit for, the James Bond of global supply chain. We've had a lot of fun with that over the years, huh?
Yeah. My wife doesn't agree with you, by the way, just for the record.
Oh, we want to make everybody happy. We'll come up with a new one. All right. So you're back in Vegas. You come here, I'm sure, all the time. Trade shows, keynoting, business meetings, you name it. When you come to Vegas, David, what's one thing, though, aside from work, that you just got to do?
So I've got a new one.
Okay, I'm ready.
The Sphere.
Oh, yes.
So it wasn't actually a conference. I was here with my eldest son. We'd just run a marathon.
Yeah.
This was sort of on the way home. And we stopped off at the Sphere. We did the U2 virtual concert.
Okay.
And it was amazing. Amazing. Mind-blowing.
All right, I gotta check that out. I've heard so much about the Sphere.
That's amazing.
All right, so food-wise, I got to ask you one follow-up question. One of my favorites here that is really, it's not just hype, it's got great food. You never know with celebrity owners and stuff, but Hell's Kitchen, Chef Ramsay's joint, it is the real deal at Holyfield. What about you? Any grub you like getting here in Vegas?
I'm not. I don't really I got a lot of excitement in my life, so I don't look for excitement where I don't need it. So a plate of spaghetti bolognese, I'm happy. So
good stuff. Hey, simplicity is underrated.
Yeah.
All right. So again, great to see you in person and get off Zooms, off social. Although I love some stuff you're doing there, we'll talk about it in a second. First time we've met though since Gartner Supply Chain Symposium. I think last year. We had a chance to catch up.
Yeah.
You and the Everstream Analytics team have been on the move. Every time I turn around, y'all are releasing some new news, big deals, you name it. What does a company do in a nutshell for the three people out there that aren't familiar with it?
Yeah. So Everstream Analytics helps companies see, understand, and act on risk in their supply chains to get a competitive advantage.
See, understand, and act on risk. Did I get that right?
You got it right.
Man, I love it. And the simplicity of that mission. Let's talk about this recent report y'all released, the 2025 Supply Chain Annual Risk Report. Now, we're not going to do it justice in a 10-minute interview or whatnot, but if you had two takeaways if folks don't take the time to read it and dive into all the good data and nuggets, if there's two things they need to know in the report, what would that be?
Yeah, I think I think I'll hit on general themes. The first is that we know what the risks are, and we've got a pretty good idea in terms of what might happen where. But in reading the report, people are going to understand the context of that, and you need that in order to be able to plan and react when these things happen.
Yeah.
And it's very difficult to predict things accurately, but there's a lot that companies can do to prepare and be a lot more agile.
Yeah, and kind of to your point, while we still have to react to plenty. There's still surprises in global supply chain, whether we like it or not, and we don't. But it's amazing. It's like with the tariffs. Those have been messaged for a long time, and it's still messy, and it's anything but surgical, as you and I were talking about earlier. But some of the leading organizations have been preparing for this extra layer of uncertainty for quite some time.
That's right.
I think diving into reports like y'all produce give folks that same opportunity, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, there are definitely winners and losers as a result of this uncertainty, and we already know who they're going to be because we see what they're doing.
So, I don't want to move ahead. Was there a second takeaway from the report that you want to touch on, general theme or otherwise?
Yeah, I think there are certain risks that, I think climate and weather is a good example of something where we do actually know what is going to happen. It can be forecasted better than most other risks.
Right.
And that is a great example of an opportunity for supply chain managers to actually get their arms around data and make plans and adjust those plans and execute those plans with predictive analytics that they can actually rely upon, and those that don't will fall behind.
That's right. Such a great opportunity to do business anything but usual in 2025 and beyond. So folks, if you're not following or connected to David Shillingford on LinkedIn, you're missing out. David, I love your almost daily supply chain musings, where oftentimes from what I see, you take the headlines and then you offer what folks need to understand that's taking place with your analysis and expertise. It's really good stuff.
Thank you.
And you sneak in some sense of humor regularly too, which I love. What's been one of your favorite recent topics to talk about?
So far this year, I think the thing I've really enjoyed writing about is going to events like this. There have been a ton of conferences that I've had the chance to attend, and the people I've met and the panels I've attended, and it's just a great way of seeing what is happening in the industry and what people are talking about. So to be able to try and sort of take all of that and put it into 3,000 characters, I've enjoyed that.
Well, and you can tell, I think we all read content sometimes that was just mass produced and cranked out because it needs to be cranked out. And then you get the 2% that you read where folks clearly enjoy sharing been there, done that perspective and helping educate and inform others and sometimes entertain. And that's really, I'm not playing to your ego, David, that's really how your perspective reads. So keep it coming.
I enjoy it, and right back at you.
All right, well, we try.
I love your stuff.
All right, so David, I want to make sure we finish on some good news, because I love talking about good news. We can always find it, even on the worst of days if we go looking for it. And what I want to talk to you about is from your conversations, from your customer portfolio, from folks that you talk to and work with. There are some supply chain leaders and organizations that can really take an obstacle and a challenge and transform it into an opportunity.
Yeah.
What an example, or what are you seeing along those lines out there?
Yeah, well, I think the level of fluidity and uncertainty around tariffs it's not new, but it's at a different level, and the companies that have been preparing for that, more generally for anything, the ones that have truly mapped their supply chain, and when I say that, I mean accurately and in detail across suppliers, logistics networks, sub-tier suppliers, distribution networks. The companies that have done that as a basis for their own operational planning, for risk analytics, for risk management, are so much better positioned than those who haven't to react to what is happening around industrial trade policy and tariffs. And you can tell the way that companies message, the way that companies react. If their hair's on fire, it means they haven't done that.
Yes. David, you got to preach it louder to the folks in the back, because the trailblazers that get out ahead and really know their organization, know their ecosystem, all those things you just shared, they're in a much better position not to just be proactive, but to react to the scenarios we still have to react to, because there still are surprises, whether we like it or not.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right, so David, good stuff here today, as I knew it would be. I got one final $1 million question. Well, for you, it might be a $1 billion question. How can folks connect with David Shillingford?
Well, the easiest way is on LinkedIn.
Yep.
Love the platform, love the interactions on it, and I'm pretty easy to find.
You are. And let's get more characters. Hey, LinkedIn, powers that be, we need more than, 3,000 characters? I'm too long-winded. There's so much more we can put. Now, kidding aside, folks, you're missing out. Again, if you're not following, connected with David Shillingford with Everstream Analytics. David, thanks so much for stopping by.
Thank you very much, Scott. Great to be here.
You bet. All right, folks, stay tuned as I continue to interview the movers and shakers across industry like David here, as we continue to broadcast from Manifest here in Las Vegas. You can check out all the content at supplychainnow.com.